Spray foam insulation can envelop recessed IC lights, potentially leading to overheating and posing fire hazards. Therefore, taking precautions to prevent direct contact between the insulation and the lights is crucial. Firstly, box out the lights. Install additional framing around the lights, creating a box-shaped enclosure. This will prevent the spray foam from filling the space around the lights. Secondly, use IC-rated insulation. Select spray foam insulation specifically designed for contact with IC lights. These products have lower heat conductivity and meet safety standards for recessed lighting applications. Romex is an approved wiring method for spray foam insulation applications. However, the following considerations should be taken. Firstly, ensure proper sealing. Seal all holes and gaps around the wiring where it enters the spray foam to prevent air and moisture intrusion. Secondly, use listed devices. Choose wire connectors and lighting fixtures that are specifically listed for use with spray foam insulation. Thirdly, avoid overloading. Do not exceed the ampacity or current carrying capacity of the Romex wiring or the lighting fixtures. It is also recommended to consult with the manufacturer of the spray foam insulation for specific instructions and precautions. It is equally important to hire a qualified electrician to ensure proper wiring and installation of the recessed lights. Finally, schedule a blower-door test after the insulation is installed to verify air tightness and prevent moisture problems. When working with electrical systems and insulation, safety should always be the top priority. A proper installation or selection of materials can lead to hazardous situations, including electrical fires. A thorough understanding of the potential risks and adherence to best practices are essential. Recessed lighting, while offering aesthetic and functional benefits, presents unique challenges when combined with spray foam insulation. The heat generated by the light fixture can become trapped within the insulation, leading to overheating and potential failure of the fixture or even ignition of the surrounding materials. Intertic Testing Services, ALL, and the Canadian Standards Association CSA are examples of organizations that establish safety standards and test products to ensure they meet these standards. Products that have been tested and certified by these organizations will bear their mark, indicating that they have undergone rigorous testing and meet specific safety requirements. It is always advisable to use listed products when working with electrical systems and insulation. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides comprehensive guidelines for electrical installations in the United States. It is updated every 3 years and serves as the standard for safe electrical practices. Local jurisdictions often adopt the NEC as their electrical code, with or without amendments. The NEC covers a wide range of topics, including wiring methods, overcurrent protection, grounding, and equipment installation. Compliance with the NEC is essential to ensure the safety of electrical systems. When selecting spray foam insulation for use around recessed lighting, it is crucial to choose a product that is specifically designed and tested for this application. IC-rated insulation is designed to be in direct contact with recessed light fixtures without posing a fire hazard. These products typically have a lower heat conductivity and are made from materials that are less likely to ignite. Always check the manufacturer's specifications to ensure that the insulation is suitable for use with recessed lighting. Boxing out the lights involves creating a physical barrier between the light fixture and the spray foam insulation. This can be accomplished by installing additional framing around the light fixture to create a box-shaped enclosure. The enclosure should be large enough to provide adequate air circulation around the fixture and prevent the insulation from coming into direct contact with it. The box should be constructed from fire-resistant materials, such as drywall or metal. When installing Romex wiring in areas that will be insulated with spray foam, it is important to take steps to prevent air and moisture intrusion. Spray foam insulation can create an airtight seal, which can trap moisture within the wall cavity. This moisture can lead to corrosion of the wiring and other components. To prevent this, it is essential to seal all holes and gaps around the wiring where it enters the spray foam. This can be done with caulk or other sealant that is specifically designed for this purpose. Wire connectors and lighting fixtures should be specifically listed for use with spray foam insulation. These products are designed to withstand the extreme temperatures and environmental conditions that can occur within the insulated wall cavity. Using unlisted products can lead to premature failure and potential safety hazards. Always check the manufacturer's specifications to ensure that the products are suitable for use with spray foam insulation. Overloading the Romex wiring or the lighting fixtures can lead to overheating and potential fire hazards. It is essential to determine the ampacity or current carrying capacity of the wiring and the fixtures and to ensure that the load does not exceed this value. The ampacity of Romex wiring is typically marked on the cable itself. The ampacity of lighting fixtures is typically marked on the fixture or in the manufacturer's specifications. If you are unsure of the ampacity of the wiring or the fixtures, consult with a qualified electrician. A blower door test is a diagnostic tool that is used to measure the air tightness of a building. The test involves installing a powerful fan in an exterior door and using it to pressurize or depressurize the building. The amount of air leakage is then measured to determine the air tightness of the building. A blower door test can help to identify areas of air leakage, such as around windows, doors, and penetrations in the walls and ceiling. These areas can then be sealed to improve the energy efficiency of the building and prevent moisture problems. Spray foam insulation can significantly improve the air tightness of a building. However, it is important to ensure that the insulation is properly installed and that all areas of air leakage are sealed. A blower door test can help to verify that the insulation is properly installed and that the building is airtight. Consulting with the manufacturer of the spray foam insulation is essential to ensure that you are using the product correctly and that you are taking all necessary precautions. The manufacturer can provide specific instructions and precautions for your particular application. They can also provide information on the product's performance characteristics and its suitability for use with recessed lighting and Romex wiring. Hiring a qualified electrician is essential to ensure that the wiring and installation of the recessed lights are done properly. An electrician has the knowledge and experience to identify potential hazards and to take steps to prevent them. They can also ensure that the wiring and fixtures are installed in accordance with the NEC and other applicable codes. When working with electrical systems and insulation, it is always better to be safe than sorry. By taking the necessary precautions and consulting with qualified professionals, you can ensure that your project is completed safely and efficiently. Moreover, understanding the different types of spray foam insulation is crucial. There are two primary types: open cell and closed cell. Open cell spray foam has a lower density and a more porous structure. It is typically less expensive than closed cell foam and provides good sound insulation. However, it has a lower R value per inch and is more permeable to moisture. Closed cell spray foam has a higher density and a closed cell structure. It provides a higher R value per inch and is less permeable to moisture. It is also more expensive than open cell foam. The choice between open cell and closed cell spray foam depends on the specific application and the desired performance characteristics. For recessed lighting applications, closed cell foam may be a better choice due to its higher R value and low moisture permeability. However, open cell foam may be suitable in some cases, particularly if it is used in conjunction with other insulation materials. Proper ventilation is essential to prevent moisture problems in buildings. Moisture can damage building materials, promote mold growth, and create unhealthy living conditions. Ventilation helps to remove moisture from the building and to prevent it from accumulating in walls, ceilings, and other areas. There are two primary types of ventilation: natural ventilation and mechanical ventilation. Natural ventilation relies on natural forces such as wind and temperature differences to move air through the building. Mechanical ventilation uses fans and other equipment to force air into and out of the building. The type of ventilation that is most appropriate for a particular building depends on the climate, the building design, and the occupancy. In general, buildings in humid climates require more ventilation than buildings in dry climates. It is also important to ensure that the ventilation system is properly designed and installed to provide adequate airflow throughout the building. Moisture barriers are materials that are used to prevent moisture from entering walls, ceilings, and other building assemblies. They are typically made from plastic or other impermeable materials. Moisture barriers are installed on the warm side of the wall assembly to prevent moisture from diffusing into the wall cavity and condensing on cold surfaces. It is important to select a moisture barrier that is appropriate for the climate and the building design. In general, buildings in cold climates require a more vapor and permeable moisture barrier than buildings in warm climates. It is also important to ensure that the moisture barrier is properly installed to prevent air leakage and moisture intrusion. Air barriers are materials that are used to prevent air from leaking into or out of a building. They are typically made from plastic, foam, or other impermeable materials. Air barriers are installed in the exterior of the building to prevent air leakage through walls, ceilings, and other building assemblies. It is important to select an air barrier that is durable and resistant to weathering. It is also important to ensure that the air barrier is properly installed to prevent air leakage. Building codes provide minimum requirements for the design, construction, and maintenance of buildings. These codes are intended to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the public. Building codes cover a wide range of topics, including structural design, fire safety, energy efficiency, and accessibility. Compliance with building codes is essential to ensure that buildings are safe and durable. Local jurisdictions often adopt building codes as their own, with or without amendments. It is important to be familiar with the building codes that are in effect in your area. In addition to the NEC, other relevant standards and guidelines may apply to electrical installations and insulation projects. These may include standards from organizations such as the American Society for Testing and Materials, or ASTM, the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA, and the International Code Council, or ICE. It is important to be aware of these standards and guidelines and to follow them when performing electrical installations and insulation projects. Safety data sheets, or SDSs, provide information about the hazards associated with chemicals and other materials. SDS are required by law to be provided by manufacturers and distributors of hazardous materials. SDS contain information about the chemical's properties, hazards, and safe handling procedures. It is important to read the SDS before working with any chemical or material. The SDS will provide information about the potential hazards and how to protect yourself from them. Personal protective equipment, or PPE, is equipment that is used to protect workers from hazards in the workplace. PPE includes items such as safety glasses, gloves, respirators, and hard hats. The type of PPE that is required depends on the hazards that are present in the workplace. It is important to use the correct PPE for the task at hand and to wear it properly. Improper use of PPE can lead to injuries and illnesses. Regular inspections of electrical systems and insulation are essential to ensure that they are in good working order and that they are not posing a safety hazard. Inspections should be performed by qualified professionals who are trained to identify potential problems. Inspection should include a visual examination of the wiring, insulation, and other components. They should also include testing to ensure that the system is operating properly. Any problems that are identified during the inspection should be corrected promptly. Upgrading electrical systems and insulation can improve the safety and efficiency of buildings. Upgrades may include replacing old wiring, installing new insulation, and upgrading lighting fixtures. Upgrades can also improve the value of the building and make it more comfortable to live in. It is important to consult with qualified professionals before making any upgrades to electrical systems or insulation. They can help you to determine the best upgrades for your particular building and to ensure that the work is done safely and properly. Continuous learning is essential for staying up to date on the latest technologies and best practices in the electrical and insulation industries. There are many resources available for continuing education, including courses, workshops, and conferences. It is important to take advantage of these opportunities to improve your knowledge and skills. By staying up to date on the latest technologies and best practices, you can ensure that you are providing the best possible service to your customers and that you are working safely. The information provided in this narration is intended for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with qualified professionals before undertaking any electrical or insulation projects. They can provide specific recommendations based on your individual circumstances and ensure that the work is done safely and in accordance with applicable codes and standards.